Hi, David. We cannot
Hello,
hear you.
how are you?
We're very good. I just finished the block of the news, including the Biden's administration forming a special Department of Health for illegal immigrants.
You don't say.
We're just ready to roll. No, it seriously just happened today. He opened a special Department of Health for illegal aliens. So let's talk about you guys. I voted today for you, for all of you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Of course. And we would like to hear from you what's going on. And please share with our viewers what exactly you guys are going to do, who is in the slate, and what's going to happen. And you are David Merrill, and you are running for the City Council at Large, City of Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, State, North Carolina. Welcome.
That's right. Thank you so much, Tatyana. As you mentioned, I'm David Merrill. I'm running for an at-large position for the Charlotte City Council. That means I will be one of 4 representatives that will oversee management of the entire county. That's one of 11 positions on the City Council. 7 are for specific districts, and again, 4 at large. And we're running on a platform with myself, with Charlie Mulligan, Kyle Lubke, and Carrie Olinsky, all running at large, as well as James Bowers in District 3, Mary Barnett in District 2, Tark Bakari in District 6, and we also have Ed Driggs, who is running unopposed, so he will win District 7. And we're all a slate of moderate candidates trying to bring back just a sense of good government and accountability to the City Council. Our City Council is very far and radical left-leaning, and they're doing things way beyond the scope of what a city should do in the best interest of all of its citizens. And again, we're trying to bring back some accountability for that. So we've been working really hard over the last couple months preparing for the election, which concludes on Tuesday the 26th. And that's been including knocking on the doors of thousands of people, sending people brochures and mailers, lots of news appearances, and just really trying to get the word out about all of the issues that we're trying to resolve. And I'm happy to speak about any of those.
Well, particularly, I would like you to share with us a situation with the flea market. It was some kind of disaster that happened not last week. We just knew about it last week. We learned about it last week, and you guys found a solution for disadvantaged community within a few days, something that our current city council couldn't do for 6 or 7 months. Could you please share some details on that situation?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So I really want to first give all the credit for this to Councilman Tark Bakari and for my fellow candidate, Charlie Mulligan. They've really been leading the efforts on this area for our entire slate, which we really appreciate. And the backstory behind this is the city owns an area called the Eastland Mall, which used to be a shopping center, that I believe was turned back to the city for unpaid tax because the mall was closed. And a group of people had been using this as an open air market to sell goods, to provide some availability of resources to really earn a living. And the city was turning this over to construction, even though they already own it. And my understanding is that the city told the people that were managing the property that everybody had to vacate, but the management company didn't actually get that out to the vendors or the people selling their goods there. And so the police department showed up and had to forcibly remove some of the folks there. And because these were typically lower value items, some of these items just wound up getting thrown away. So this happened about 7 months ago, and a lot of these vendors have been without a source of income because they haven't had a place to sell their goods. And the city council meeting Monday of last week, one gentleman was there, showed his credit card statements that are past due, that he's used all of his available credit. He has no income left coming in, and he's been depending on this, and it's been taking months and months for the city to do anything. So they were there at the same night we were regarding a different issue. We heard their cries for help, and we decided to take it upon ourselves to take action. And that's one of the main things you'll hear us say as a slate of candidates working together, is that when the city council just talks about doing things, we actually roll up our sleeves and we take action. We get things done. And so again, Tark and Charlie really led the effort on this. And they were able to find some land that was being used as a parking lot. And they got that donated for use for free, including free parking by Mr. Levine, who owns the land. And they were able to set up last Saturday, starting from 7 until 9. And the market took place from 9 until 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Bravo.
So we would have liked to have seen a bigger turnout. We understand there were some things going on in the back end, potentially regarding some people currently on the city council. And that one of the organizers, I'm hearing this secondhand, apparently reached out to a lot of the vendors telling them not to go, and that they were trying to use that as a negotiating or bargaining chip to get the city to just give them land for free. So it's a shame that we're doing something like this to try to help out these folks, and people are working against us, against the best interest of these vendors. So it's a shame, and unfortunately, a lot of people were trying to say things such as, we're trying to politicize or take advantage of brown people for political gain, but that's certainly not the case. We legitimately care about the people in our community, and we're trying to do things to help others when the city council is just saying, what can we do? We're taking action.
Well, we've heard the arguments. The arguments were absolutely baseless. Do we have it? Do we not? Do we own land? Yes, we do. We own 100% of the land on the east side. Well, let's give it to them. No. Let's not. Let's talk about it. Let's think about it. And then another time, another 6 months, and you guys just delivered the solution in 3 days.
Yep, 2 days.
2 days. Hey, even 2 days. Better than that.
Got to give Charlie and
Congratulations.
And Tark credit for that. And then I used the beginning of my time to address council that night with 2 really good possible locations that could be a permanent home. Right now, it's just a temporary place for them, but there's a very large section of land off Monroe Road near the intersection of Village Lake. It's a very large open grassy field with plenty of space and parking available. That could be a very good location for them. Or a place called the West Side Complex, which is only 2 blocks away from my house in West Charlotte. It's convenient to the Gold Line, so there's public transportation. There's plenty of parking in this area. And there's already things like Black Food Truck Friday that takes place there on Friday nights. And today they hosted the Rosa Parks Farmers Market, which takes place almost every Tuesday afternoon. So there's plenty of space in the city. The council just wasn't doing anything to solve their problem.
Of course. Wonderful. That's what it means when a group of people led by experienced and very smart leader, Tariq in this case, can deliver just amazingly wonderful results that benefit, again, disadvantaged people, disadvantaged community. And it doesn't matter what color those people are. It's just members of community. That's all it is. And
right.
Yes, instead of just declaring, yes, we do care for community, yes, we do care for immigrants, look at you guys, you actually deliver it. So what else is in your plans, being candidates for City of Charlotte? What would you do differently from a current team?
Well, one of the biggest things is I had a meeting this afternoon with the president of the Fraternal Order of Police. And we did a couple really quick videos, but one of the main things that we talked about was helping me understand the rules regarding police chases in the city. Because the police department has been under a lot of scrutiny lately for some of the police chases. And recently, I think we had 3 or 4 police chases within 1 week. So that's been in the news a lot lately. And the city council really seems to have a lack of support or solidarity with our police department and the law enforcement officers. So I was speaking with the president of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Fraternal Order of Police about what it might look like to, when the Republicans take control of the city council, to draft a memorandum of support for the police, and what other things we need to do to help make the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department an employer of choice. Tatyana, you live here, you hear about all the crime that happens in our city. My end of town, I hear gunshots almost every night. So we need to do something to take the violent criminals off of the streets and lock them up. But the problem is we don't have enough district attorneys, and that's an issue with the state. The city council won't actually go to the state to do anything about it, but we're going to have to do that. We also need to have more judges.
Amazing.
There's a backlog of 5 years for some murder cases and 7 years for other types of felonies because our courts are so backed up. So we really need to fix our judicial system to get our streets safe again. And that impacts everyone in the city.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's another thing that you guys are preoccupied with. What about affordable housing? I've heard several times Kyle and Charlie speaking on that, and they are representatives of a younger community of Charlotte that really are, you can relate them to those that cannot afford a huge house, $1 million house, and they see the problems of affordable housing by their own eyes. Do you have any comments on that? What's your perspective along with their perspective?
So housing is one of my primary issues, and I work as a technology provider, providing tech solutions to the housing industry. So I know this area better than anybody else. And it seems like a complicated issue, but it's really not. There are experts that work in housing throughout the country, in North Carolina, and in the city of Charlotte that know how to fix these problems. The city just won't listen to them. The city was supposed to meet with the executive director of the National Rental Housing Council several months ago, and the mayor canceled the meeting and refused to reschedule it. That same organization published an open letter to the city council back in 2020, talking about how to fix our housing choice and voucher programs. The city council last week voted on a measure to require any city-funded property must accept housing vouchers. So it's called a source of income discrimination protection. And the issue with that is it only impacts properties that are funded specifically by the city, not anybody else. So it really only helps a small percentage of the people. The best way to fix this is to look at that open letter from 2020, read these experts' opinions on what we need to do to fix the program and make the well-intentioned program actually work the right way. And that'll do a lot to open up housing protections for a lot of disadvantaged people in the city. But that's only for really the 30% or 80% or below of the average median income. There's a lot of other issues that happen with that as well. We really do have a very short supply of housing here, with, depending on the source you're looking at, between 30 and 100 people moving to the city per day for high-paying jobs. That frequently displaces a lot of our long-time legacy residents. And we're not building a lot of houses for the people that live here now. We're building houses for the people that are making $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 a year moving here. And again, that raises everybody's property taxes, which means more money for the city to spend on all the things they want to spend the money on. But it means it's more difficult for people that live here now to be able to continue to live here in the future. One of my biggest reasons for running is I have a neighbor who is on my street, and he purchased his house about 25 years ago for around $80,000. The house directly across the street from him was purchased new 2 years ago for $700,000. There are townhouses that are being built on the other direction from him that are selling in the $500,000 to $600,000 range. Our taxes are going to get reassessed this year, and when that happens, he may wind up getting pressed out of this neighborhood. This is a really nice gentleman. I talk to him every time I walk by his house, walking my dogs. He's constantly out first thing in the morning, hanging out on his front patio, talking to kids and their parents as they're walking to the school that's on my street. People driving by, when they see him on his porch, stop and they wave and they say hello to him. They ask him how he's doing. He is part of the fabric of this community. And I'm worried that he's going to get priced out of this area. He's what makes this part of town great.
It's a big
He's exactly what we want here. That's right. So there's a lot we need to do with housing, but the most important thing is we need to act like we have the good sense to realize we have 2 ears, 1 mouth, and have the common sense to act accordingly.
So we talked about the best case scenario when you all win. Let's say there will be several people that get on a city council and you would have to work approximately 50-50 or 60-40 with representatives of a Democratic Party. How do you see yourself combining efforts or influencing? Could you please think about that perspective and share your ideas?
So thankfully, a lot of the people that I think that are Democrats that have a good chance to win are the more moderate Democrats. They're the people that aren't pushing for the super far left ideas. I think a lot of those people will wind up getting replaced in this election. But the people that I think will stay are willing to listen. They're willing to work for what's best in the city. And that's ultimately what matters. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. It doesn't matter your gender, the color of your skin. What matters is you are serving to serve the people of the city. Unfortunately, I think there will be 1 or 2 other people that are very far to the left that tend to be more radical that we'll have to find ways to work with. But that's just the way life is. We have to find ways to work with people throughout our lives. And we'll work together, we'll find common ground, we'll negotiate where we can. But for the moderates that are currently on council, the good thing is we agree on 95% of most issues. And for the other 5%, we'll figure that out as we go.
Awesome. I totally share with you this perspective because being a candidate for the Mecklenburg County at large Board of Commissioners, it's the same situation. Shall I win or when I win, I will be working with 2 Democrats that will be occupying 2 other seats. And we hope that out of other 6 seats, at least 4 will be taken, better 5. And then we have a nice team to work with. However, I know that Pat Gotham, she is also a moderate Democrat per my knowledge, and Karen Bentley worked with her. And that's the perfect example how you can find common grounds using common sense.
That's right.
Well, David, thank you so much. It was great. It was a wonderful pleasure to have you over in our program. Our breaking news, and we are happy that you were able to attend. Wishing you all the luck, sincerely. May you win, and may City of Charlotte receive new blood of a common sense. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.